just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail, man. It feels like God's holding me back. So this is about really sometimes how people feel racially. Sometimes people feel about classism, and sometimes how people feel about being in a bad environment or surrounded by people who are incompetent, right? So a lot of times people act like they don't understand, but they do. So say I was out working out and then my car didn't start. Kind of freak accident. Somebody tapped it and the alarm went haywire or whatever. And I needed to jump. It was a mechanic right next door. So I asked, I said, "Hey man, y'all got some jumper cables?" And when the dude at the desk said yes, and then another white dude looked over and saw I was black, was like, "No, we ain't got them." I'm like, "All right, man, don't worry about it. I'll just walk to Walmart and get some jumper cables, whatever." So then that white dude that told me yes, he went to the back, got the jumper cables, came out, jumped my car, no problem. So to you, thank you. But this is for people to understand, like, that's a real that happened. But the part what I'm saying is feel like God holding you back. When people think about racism, that's part of what they're thinking of. Like when you walk into a place and somebody looks at you and go, "No, no, no, not for you. Oh, everything, all the rules that apply for everybody else don't apply for you. We're not doing it for you." It's like, okay, so everywhere I go, I'm gonna run into somebody like this for the rest of my life. This is what's gonna happen. So, and these same people will go along and go to church and be like, and pray for over dinner. Jesus, like, I don't want to hear it. So it makes you feel like God's holding you back because everywhere you go, you have a person who's making it their business to hold you back, whether you see them or you don't. Because sometimes you don't. You check off the racial box, and then they go, not that. Or they look at the name and they go, not that. So that's one thing. When I say the class thing, when you come from the wrong side of the tracks, as they used to say, people have an issue with you going from, I know people don't want to say this, but people have an issue from you going from the lower class to the middle class or from the middle class to the upper class. Because if you go from the lower class to the middle class, the people in the middle class say, "How did you get here?" Now, there are people in the middle class who are like, "Congratulations, I came up just like you. I'm glad you got from there to here." I wasn't able to get higher, but hopefully you get higher. They got people who are like that, but there are people who aren't. So every time you try to, once you get into that middle class, or once you go from middle to upper, there are people there who are trying to set you up and scam you, or try to get you caught up so you can go back down the class. You say you buy a home, you got people in your HOA, your homeowners association. You got people trying to make complaints and this, that, and the third, and mess with this and mess with that, and get you fined for this and get you fined for that, and hopefully find you into oblivion so you could leave, right? You don't even have to be bothering them. You don't have to be throwing parties and none of that kind of stuff. It's none of that. You got people who, you might have a job. Your coworker might want to come over and see how you're living, and then try to get you fired because they feel like you're living better than them, or on the same level as them. So you're on par as them. So you got to protect yourself from this, because if you don't, you're gonna wind up back at square one, like God trying to hold you back. Same thing with the upper class. That's what happens with these people with these accounts, and they come by and they're looking out for your best interest type of thing. And, introducing you to these financial advisors, and the financial advisors tank your finances, and then they're rich, and then you're broke, and then you've moved out the neighborhood, and the person that hooked you up, like, yes. It feel like God's trying to hold you back. And then, and the one that's the worst one to me, because it encompasses everything all at once, is incompetence. See, you can be in the middle and upper class and be surrounded by just as many incompetent people as you would in the lower class. So if you've ever, worked a job, whether it's middle class or high paying, you got coworkers, they mess up everything. So everything that's set up to go well or efficiently, they'll make it inefficient. They'll destroy it. And now they made something easy hard. And now they got to make it harder and harder and harder and harder. And when people do that, it's like, yo, I feel like God trying to hold me back, because now I'm around these people who are really creating chaos because they don't want anybody looking at their the chaos is a smokescreen, so you don't look at their incompetence. So they're smart at playing games to cover their own behind, but they're dumb at actually doing a job that'll get done well. So now when you're surrounded by incompetent people, you can't do anything right because it's their job to mess it up. My dog is hilarious. But it feels like God's holding you back because you got to maneuver through all the dummies. You know what I'm saying? So just I hope you get where I'm coming from. Like, share, subscribe, or die. Try and catch y'all on the next one. Peace.